Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm your host, Paul Jassogne. Thank you for joining us as we begin taping here today. A beautiful day downtown Lancaster, just a great week here ahead of us, and so we're fortunate that as we move into this fall time of the season, and kind of in the back of our heads, we know the fair is coming. That's an exciting time here in Lancaster and Fairfield County. We're looking forward to that. So we're going to have some fun today on the show. Got a couple different segments that I think are going to be pretty interesting for you. We're going to open it up with a segment that I've always enjoyed doing here, mostly with Judy Root, who today is behind the camera. You can't see her. She's standing back there. She's refused to come on today. She's passed the torch to another young lady I'll mention to you here in a moment. But we have Rotary Exchange students. They are always great to talk to. We always enjoy talking to the students, and Rotary does such a good job with bringing young people over here and actually sending young people to other countries too, and it's always a pleasure to talk to them. And I told this young lady I'm going to say her name one time, and if I get it, I do. If I don't, I don't, but I'm only going to say it once. To my immediate right is Petra Udovicic. Not bad?
It was good.
Okay, it was good. You heard that. It was good. And I'm much better with Amanda Morris. I'm much better with that over there. This is Amanda. Amanda is the counselor. She's sort of the supervisor for this program with Rotary Exchange students as we talk today. And of course, Petra is a senior at Lancaster High School. She's 18 and she hails from Zagreb, Croatia. Pretty cool. So I guess the first question I would have for you, Petra, that's it from here on out, okay, Petra? We're good with that? Okay. Is why did you want to come to the United States and be an exchange student? Was something you've always thought about or something that just in the last few years you came up with?
Well, because in Croatia, it seems to me that the job in which you have the most profit is when you can work, for example, in IT, and you work for a foreign company, because then you get a higher salary than in Croatia, and you spend money on a cheap life in Croatia.
Oh.
So I was like, maybe jobs are better. I want to see the other parts of the world.
Well, that's very smart on your part too. And just let me say how great your English is. You speak wonderful English, and I'll guarantee, and I'll only speak for myself, you speak better English than I do Croatian, okay?
Oh.
The only word I know in Croatian is Zagreb and Petra.
Well, you told Udovicic pretty good.
Well, I got one name right, that's okay. Amanda, Amanda Morris is the counselor here, and as I gather, she is the first student that you've been a host parent.
Yes.
For one student,
yes.
like Petra last year, and probably had a great experience of it. In talking with the host families and people like that, it's good experiences for them. I know the young people like it, but now you're this counselor, and that's kind of a different role here. You kind of got to crack the whip sometimes. Huh? You're the boss.
Yeah. Yep, it is.
How's that working for you?
Well, Petra's a great student, so I haven't had to do
that. That helps, doesn't it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And so your job, and you're a Rotarian. Which Rotary Club are you in?
In the Lancaster Lunch Club.
Okay, very good. So your job as the counselor is, you're not a host parent this year, but as a counselor, you, in this case, one student, you supervise and find out what her needs are, and you talk to her periodically?
Yeah, so I see her once a month. Just kind of check in, make sure that things are going well with the host family, if she needs anything. And then I can always come and get her and take her and do whatever I want. So,
nice. Well, you got her out of school today.
Well,
that was nice. Huh?
Yeah.
Get out of school this morning. That's pretty good, huh?
Yes.
Very good. I wanted to mention, too, that Petra's host family is Dan and Aubrey Neely. The Neelys are actually Petra's host family. They're pretty cool, pretty good to be there.
Yes,
Everything good
they're
so far? I
great
give you a
family.
chance to really Get on them if you need to. No,
Yes.
they're good? All right, very good. So now you're in the United States. You're here until, you've only been here about a month, as I understand it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Only been here about a month, and you're here till next May, almost graduation. So you won't be here for graduation. You're going back to your home country, home school for your graduation. So will they count, obviously they'll count this year as part of your education?
Yes, I would be senior now in Croatia.
Okay. So after you, let's say you finish your senior year here, have you gone 11 years in schooling in Croatia?
Yes.
Okay, so 1 year here now. Do you think when you go back with what you're going to learn here, and maybe you can't tell within a month, but do you think when you go back, your education here will put you ahead of your friends who are seniors, or will you be about with them, do you think?
Well, I don't know about general knowledge, but I know that this year will be much more beneficial for me to be here than in Croatia because I was able to choose my subjects. And I chose mathematics, like different parts of mathematics, and I couldn't do that in Croatia because we don't choose our subjects in Croatia. We have 14 subjects and everyone has the same.
Oh.
And now I can learn something which will be very useful for
Yes.
me when I go to university in
So
Croatia.
when you go back, you'll be able to do some things that maybe you wouldn't have able to have done as a senior in Zagreb.
Well, I'll know things
Yes.
before
Yeah.
I even go to the university.
All right. So you've been here a month, and maybe you can tell, what do you think about the United States in just a month? What's your opinion of the country? Is it good?
Yes.
You like it?
I mean, I knew some things about the States before I even came here, but it's like, I don't even know how to describe it.
Sure.
Like, there's a lot more space because in Croatia everything is like on the same place. It's a small country, and here you need to like drive everywhere because it's like.
Now, do you have a license? I don't know. Do you have a driver's license?
No, in Croatia you need to be 18 to go on
Okay.
a driver's exam, and I was 18 like 2 weeks before I came here.
Well, when you go back to the Needlies, just tell them you'd like to drive their car. Tell them you have a license. Take the car out.
I can do that. Even
No?
if I did have a license, I can drive in the States because insurance doesn't cover it.
Well, I'm sure they wouldn't care. I'm sure they'd be good with that. I mean, they're nice
That's
people.
one of those things I have to enforce.
So the key here would be don't listen to me. Listen to Amanda. She's the voice of reason here and knowledge going on. So this is really a neat program that Rotary does. Again, we talked with Judy many times with many students here, and they've all been exceptional young people from what we can tell here in only just a short time I get to talk to them. How many years have you been involved with this program?
This would be my second year.
Oh, so
I
last
hosted
year-
last year and then counselor
So
this year.
you've seen the program. You just decided
Yes.
to jump in as
So
a host
Judy
parent?
is my aunt. So
Oh,
I've been
no
around
pressure
it-
there.
Yeah,
No
I've
pressure
been around
there.
it since the very beginning.
Well,
I've grown up with all the
Yeah,
exchange
she is,
students.
100% for the program, very
Yes.
positive for it, and always has done such a great job personally and with Rotary doing that. So I'm going to gather then that your first time when you were a host parent, that was a good experience for you and your husband?
For the most part.
Yeah, had its moments?
Unfortunately, our student had to leave early last year, so we didn't quite get that full experience. But
Did you
we
have
would do
other
it again.
children of your own?
No, we don't.
So this was the first time you get to have a student who's like 17 years old.
She was 16 last
16.
year. Yep.
Lots going on with the 16-year-old. Now, did they go to Lancaster?
Yes.
Lancaster?
Yep.
So, and you didn't get to have them the full year. They had to leave a little bit early.
Yep.
But overall, would you do it again?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
In a
Good,
heartbeat.
good program. How long is Rotary? Do you know how long they've been doing this? I always ask Judy this. Do we know, Judy? Since the 30s, so a couple years. They've been doing this a while. Judy
Yeah.
hasn't done it all the time, just let me say that. But boy, Rotary is just involved in this, and they're a great civic club in our city. I'm sure you
Yes.
know that, being a Rotarian.
Yes.
Judy's a Rotarian. They do such a great job. So you, young lady, you're here. Do you have anything, and again, you've got a busy school year ahead of you. You've got to actually attend school every day. But if you have any time off during the breaks, is there any place you'd like to go? Is there anything you'd like to see?
In Lancaster or
Anywhere.
in whole America?
Yeah, let's go with the whole country. Let's look big time.
Well, I would like to go to see like Washington, D.C. and New York, and I will actually, because we'll have a trip in March.
Oh, nice. Now, is that your family or who's going on that?
No, it's like for all the exchange students.
Okay. Now, how about, again, back to your home life? Your mother and father, what do they do in Croatia?
My mother is a psychiatrist and my father works in a bank.
Okay. Do you have other brothers and sisters?
I have a younger sister and she's 12.
When you go back and talk to her, do you think she'll have some interest in doing this?
Maybe she will.
Yeah, yeah. Have you had other friends that have ever done this?
No, I met someone from my high school
Oh,
who was on the exchange 2 years before me, but I didn't know that when I was applying for the exchange.
and I don't know what Amanda thought might be on this, but I think back to my junior year in high school, thinking about coming over. I couldn't even imagine doing what you're doing. How actually I think brave this is to take this on, to go to another country. You don't know anybody here. You go to another family. You hope it works out. You got a counselor. You hope it works out. You're in a high school. You hope it works out. And I'm going to say it does because I know the administrators out of Lancaster High School, and they're good people. They would be great with you. There's no doubt about it. But I think it takes a special kind of young person, young boy or young girl to do this. So I hope you have a great experience here. So far, so good, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
everything is great actually.
Yeah. Are you able to talk with your parents or your sister on a regular basis?
On social media.
Oh, social media.
I want to.
Yeah, good. Do you have a telephone over here? Do you have a telephone in Croatia? Do you have a telephone?
Well, I took with me my telephone from Croatia, and then my host dad bought me an American SIM card.
Nice, nice. So are your parents pretty excited for this challenge for you? Have you talked with them? Do they think this is a great opportunity for you?
Yes, they are asking me questions like all the time.
Well, they want to know, have they ever been to the United States?
Yes.
They have come, have you, you've never been though. This
No.
is your first time here. So do you have, and you've chosen some classes, you mentioned mathematics, I don't know what other classes you're taking that have been electives, things you've wanted to take, but do you have any idea now as you're into your senior year what you might want to do after school? Do you want to go to college or is there a job out there? What would be the next step for you?
I will go to Mathematics University in Croatia. And
Mathematics University. So
Yes.
all they teach is mathematics.
Yes.
That's someplace I would never go. That's someplace I would not attend. So good for you. I'm glad there are students like you who are brilliant and like to do those kind of things. So you will go to this university to what end? What would that lead you to do?
Well, my uncle has a bank, and my father works in that bank, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a family business. And when I will be over with the university, my cousin will probably inherit that. So I was always thinking about working there.
In the bank and
Yes.
yeah, good. That's pretty neat. So you talk with your parents. They want to know everything about what you're doing. Do you take a lot of pictures? Do you send a lot of pictures home?
I do actually. At first I couldn't because when I didn't have laptop, I bought it here. I didn't have space on my phone, so like first 2 weeks in America, I didn't have any pictures there.
Yeah, you're maxed out on.
That
But now
was
you
awful.
now you have a lot of room to take them.
Yes.
So and again, Amanda, these young people come here, and again, for me, it's just, I never even left the country till I was in the Army. I was never gone anywhere. So for me, this is just so I think the young people have such energy and such a willingness to take this on and want to do
Yes.
these things. I'm amazed at this.
Yes, me too. Like I said, I grew up around it, so it's not as shocking for me anymore because I've seen it for 25 years. So, but yeah, it's a great program.
Yeah.
We're always looking also for people here who would like to go out on the exchange. We have short-term and long-term.
How can, if someone is viewing this and wants to say, well, maybe I have somebody who would like to be an exchange student, how can they contact someone?
So they can get a hold of their local Rotary. You can contact myself, Judy Root, anybody who you know is in Rotary. And you don't have to be a Rotarian in order to host. You can host. We're always looking for host families. And you don't have to be a Rotarian to go out on exchange. And again, there's short-term, long-term. So the short-term is 4 weeks in the summer. Your long-term is that 10-month you're going to school in another country program.
Well, I'd like to thank Amanda Morris, who's our counselor here, kind of the heads up the program, and I will give it another shot. Petra Udovicic, that's it. But I'd like to thanks for joining us today. It's been great fun. You do a great job. I mean, you speak great English. We're always appreciative of that.
Thank you.
When you speak great English like this. So good luck out at the high school. Do you know Mr. Burry out there? You know who
Yes.
Mr. Burry is? Regardless of what you think about him, he's a nice guy. He is a nice guy. So you just please tell him I said that. He's a nice guy.
Okay.
Amanda, thank you for joining us
Thank
too.
you for having me.
We'll be back to talk about the Glass Museum in just a moment.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster or 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. Thanks for joining us. I want to thank Petra and her counselor here, Amanda, for joining us today, and Judy Ruda in the background for helping too with the Rotary Exchange student. And again, she's a lovely young girl here at Lancaster High School just for this year. It's always a pleasure to have the Rotary Exchange students on there. As a rule, just remarkable young people, and they just learn so much being here, and we learn so much just in talking to them, so it's a pleasure to have them on. I want to thank the good folks here at Fairfield Federal for inviting us in. We're here in their corner each and every week at the downtown lobby. I want to remind you they also have locations up at Cross Creeks Boulevard in Pickerington, and then over on the west side, a few miles from here, over at Fair and Pierce Avenue. And if you go on their website, fairfieldfederal.com, it's a very interactive website, lots of good information, anything from any money questions you may have. Many could be answered on that website. They have the names of the folks that you might want to talk to at each of the branches. They have other things like rates for CDs, for loans, if you're interested in a home loan or a renovation of your home or something. Still time to do it, as we're still in a good time of the year, so that's still out there if you want to get that done yet this fall. But so much of the information, where their ATMs are, their hours at each branch, all that's available at their website, and it's fairfieldfederal.com. And again, so if you have money questions, many of those answers could come from the website, but then there are phone numbers and names of people that if you still have them, give them a call at any of the branches, and they'd be glad to chat with you. fairfieldfederal.com. Have a first-time guest with us today, Mike Shook. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having us on.
Mike is actually an old schoolmate of mine. We were within a year of each other at Lancaster High School, and he's gone on and done some great things around here with anchor hocking, and we'll talk about some of that. But the current reason we're having him on today is really one of the great places in town is the Ohio Glass Museum. And I can remember the first time I ever heard somebody mention they're planning this, and I thought, why would anybody want to have a museum with glass in it? I mean, anchor hocking's here. You can see all the glass you want. Well, fast forward 10 years, however long it's been here, things have changed, and anchor hocking has gotten a bit more downsized, and the museum has gotten a bit more upsized. It's really a player in town, in a town that already has a lot of good museums, a lot of good things going on here in terms of historical value. But the Ohio Glass Museum is really a player in the community now.
It really is, and we're definitely proud of the museum and the way we've gone about preserving the history of glass manufacturing in Lancaster and Fairfield County, and for that matter, Ohio. And there's a rich history of that, and it's always been a vital contributor to the economy of the city and for the surrounding communities.
Now, I know the Ohio Glass Museum has gone through some changes and reformation as the years go on, like any museum or any business does. It's not the same as it was a year ago, 5 years ago. Now, I think the latest thing is what you've purchased the museum property down there. Is that correct?
Right, and this is our really our first opportunity to say this publicly, because this just occurred within the last 3 weeks.
Wow.
We closed on the property at the end of August, and we are so proud and happy to own the property that we now occupy. And we're going to have our work cut out for us, being a property owner.
Sure.
And all that goes with it.
Always challenging.
The responsibilities, and we're up to the challenge. We have a tremendous board of trustees or board of directors that oversee the day-to-day operations as well as the long-term planning for the museum.
And let's just back up a little bit from that. I mentioned your time at Anchor Hocking. That was where you spent your career?
I've been in the glass industry my entire life.
Yes.
Both here in Lancaster, retired from Anchor Hocking after 37 years. Became a bit of a glass gypsy, if you will. Lived and worked in California for a few years, and then at one point, as crazy as it sounds, I went coastal. I went from the left coast to the right coast, and
that's a good way to go.
Spent some time in New Jersey working for a glass company there, and that company closed, and I was recruited by Anchor Hocking to come back.
Nice.
And I said, well, I have to move again. I might as well go home. And
Right.
I've not regretted that. My family's not regretted that
That's
one
great.
minute.
It's a nice finish to the story coming back home. Now you guys are the chief participants in your history down there. You own the place. It's all on your plate right now. What display do you have going on right now? Because you have always fabulous displays.
Well, we kicked off the year back in March with a display that was dedicated in recognizing the art of creating glass and glass design and the glass engineering and the people that contributed to the artistic aspects of glass manufacturing. And, you know, there's the old saying that going from art to part. And somewhere along the way, you had to start with a sketch or an idea, maybe on the back of a napkin over dinner. Somebody
Sure.
says something.
That's how things start.
And that's how things start, exactly. And before you know it, it's now you're seeing it in the stores. It's for sale. So yeah, we're really proud of what we're doing with the museum. We now have a current exhibit, which we just began, is a tribute to Lancaster Glass.
Oh, a big player in this community.
And always had been up until their closure.
Dr. Fox and all those guys down there, they just did a wonderful job.
Yeah, it was sad to see them fade from the landscape of American manufacturing, and like the glass industry is becoming ever smaller throughout the country.
Yeah. I remember that's changed when I have a lot of friends that were engineers at Anchor Hocking, and as soon as the 2-liter bottle came out in plastic,
yes,
that seemed to herald a change in the glass industry.
Well, certainly the glass manufacturers have seen, again, their businesses shrink due to the constant use and conversion from glass to plastic. And,
sure.
There's a lot of people out there that would love to see glass become the de facto standard for drinking water bottles. And how many times have you thought about years when we were younger, you take a bottle into the store and get 2 cents for it.
And glad to do it.
You paid a recycling fee or a deposit on those bottles, and there's something to be said for that if that could ever happen
and
again.
you don't see, they never say about glass containers clogging up the oceans either. You
No,
never
they
hear
don't.
that.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
When I walked in here today at Fairfield Federal downtown, there's this amazing display right across behind us now, and Shane's got a bunch of shots of this. And this is the Glass Town Countdown, New Year's Eve celebration 2019. And you guys are just a big player in this. We see that. We've got some of the glassware, and I think, is this one of the ornaments that may be something like that?
Yeah, many of the glass ornaments that will be on this larger globe.
It's an amazing looking thing.
That you have the opportunity to actually come to the Glass Museum, make your own glass ball. That ball would be assigned a number, which is designated to you.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to put that glass ball with 499 other glass balls
500. Nice.
on this larger globe.
And again, Shane's got shots of it, so we're looking at it now.
So at the stroke of midnight, December 31st, January 1, 2020, this larger globe will, rather than descend like
Yes.
it does in New York City,
Yes.
it will ascend
Ascend.
into the skyline of Lancaster.
Will it be lit up?
And it will be illuminated with
Yeah.
strobe lights and
Nice.
spotlights. And
Where will that be?
It'll be right here in the town square.
Okay,
Yeah.
right behind us
Yeah.
probably. Well, very good. Well, that's a pretty neat thing. Glass Town Countdown, and again, they can probably call. I know the parks are involved in it.
Yep.
Destination Downtown,
the
Glass
Visitors and
Museum,
Convention Bureau.
Visitor and Convention
We're
Bureau.
the four, co-sponsoring this event, and we're really excited about it. And again, you can go to our website, the Ohio Glass Museum. You can see the schedule and when there are open dates for you to come in and schedule to make your very own glass ball.
That sounds like a great fun thing. Looking forward to that. We've still got several minutes yet. I wanted to talk about, you guys still have classes down there. You
We
still
do.
conduct classes at the Ohio Glass Museum.
We have classes, as I say, daily. We have demonstrations of the hours of the operation of the museum. Right now is Tuesday through Sunday, and we have glass demonstrations every afternoon at 2 and at 3.
Nice.
But then you can also schedule your class to come in and make what you see here
Sure.
in front of us today, paperweights, Christmas ornaments, and of course right now it's seasonal.
Well,
We have these glass
I
pumpkins,
look at
which
that
are
glass
just
pumpkin.
beautiful.
That is amazing
Yeah.
looking, and for this time of year, that is so perfect.
Well, right now, again, being the fall season, you can come in and make a pumpkin. We have glass apples, acorns, leaves. This very beautiful time of the year, this fall season. So come in and make one of these things, and you can proudly display it in your own home.
How about you can become a member of the Ohio Glass Museum? Is that still out there?
Yes, by all means. We invite the entire community to come out and join us as
Sure.
be members and help support the Glass Museum.
Where's that on your website?
It's on our website. We have various tiered memberships that we have in our brochure.
Yeah,
You
we've
can
got nice
stop
brochures
in
here.
and and again go to our website and determine which tiered membership you would like to.
Is that ohioglassmuseum.org or?
The OhioGlassMuseum.org.
Okay,
correct. Yep.
that's it. So, or you can go to a search engine and find it here.
Sure.
And one last thing is we'll get on some fundraising. There's a GoFundMe
Yes.
page on the website.
Yeah, we're going to be, first of all, we're going to be launching our membership drive beginning in October.
Okay.
And funding for a nonprofit is always important.
It's a challenge.
It's always a challenge, and getting the community to participate and support not only our museum but the other museums. Someone mentioned it or said it this way the other day. They referred to this as the museum district, and I really like that.
That's a good idea.
Because you have Deco, you have the Sherman House, you have
all within 2 blocks.
absolutely,
Sure.
and the Georgian, of course,
Yeah.
and then the AHA Museum.
Sure,
So
sure.
for a community of this size, having those entities in the community, it's a value. It's really a value to the community.
So if anything, Mike, or we've said it struck a nerve and it kind of lights your fire a little bit about finding out more about it, ohioglassmuseum.org is a great place to go. And remember the Glass Town Countdown, New Year's Eve. They've got all the information on their website. You can stop down at the Glass Museum, find out all the information. Going to be an exciting time, Mike. You ready to lead the program?
Yeah, we're real excited. The fall season is going to be quite busy for us.
I understand. Make yourself a beautiful pumpkin, an ornament, a glass weight, something like that. You'll have great fun at the Glass Museum. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Well,
Thanks for being with us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.